What's up guys, Rogue9 here and welcome to my series on Rainbow Six Siege. In this episode I'll be giving you a full tactical breakdown of the house level, or maybe suburb level, or whatever they end up calling it in the end. The name is irrelevant. What's important is the layout of the level and what you can do to give yourself an advantage over other players. So let's jump straight in. When attacking this level from the outside, you will have a choice of 4 different spawn locations. The construction site in the north, the river docks in the east, the APC area in the southwest, and the side street in the south. As before, I think it's not very important where you spawn exactly, apart from maybe the fact that the defenders won't know where you're coming from exactly. And before we take a tour of the individual floors of the building, let's just take a quick look at the map key. As I guide you through the level, we will come across 3 different types of walls: red, yellow, and white. The red walls are breachable. It means you can blow your way through, smash your way through, shoot your way through, and then walk through. Semi-breachable walls mean that you can look through them, shoot through them, but not navigate through them. White-colored walls on the map simply mean that you cannot breach these, you cannot shoot through, look through, or walk through in any way. In this level as well, we have a window that is not boarded up and cannot be boarded up. This is marked by the blue bar. Red squares will show either ceiling breaches or floor breaches, and wooden floor will be highlighted in brown. Small yellow crates will highlight the position of ammo boxes. I hope you were paying attention to this because there might be a test later. And with the prep work out of the way, it's now time to look at the basement. Let me show you the map. Now the first thing we need to know about any floor is how to get in. Since the basement is underground, the options of getting in from the outside are limited. All I can offer you here is a single door in the northwest and 2 garage doors in the east. Coming in through the storage room can be a good option as long as you make sure that the storage room hasn't been fortified. And even though the storage room offers great sight cover once you come in, you shouldn't discount the garage either. Having 2 wide breaching points in this room not only means that you can breach with multiple people from multiple points at once, it also means that even if the enemy is expecting you from here, they won't be exactly sure which end you'll be coming from. If you've already made it into the first floor and you're making your way down, you can either use the stairs, either from the kitchen or from the back entrance, or alternatively, and much more spectacularly, you can breach in through the ceiling, either in the training room or in the laundry room. And there is also a 3rd ceiling breach point that we should take note of. This one leads from the 2nd floor down to the 1st floor and ends up just at the top of the stairs leading down to the training room. So even though this is technically a 1st floor ceiling breach, it gives you immediate access to the basement as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail on potential objectives here, since I've discovered that they can vary depending on which mission type you're playing. And now that you have a decent overview of the floor, let's dive in and take a tour of the basement. So I'm gonna start out by looking at the training room and entering it from the kitchen down the stairs. Notice that in this instance, the ceiling breach point has been fortified from the living room above, but we could have still accessed this room from the doorways to the north and south, as well as the breachable wall to the east. Quick look into the side stairs now. There's not much you can do from here except breach through into the laundry room, or of course you can just take the door like I did. The other breachable walls in this room are the wall to the east and a small section in the northwest leading to the training room. And of course you can blow your way through the ceiling coming down from the kitchen. Now with the garage you need to be a little bit careful. It is a big open room and the car and the boat here do provide some cover, and you could end up finding an enemy waiting in ambush right behind one of them. Also note that the small section of wall between the 2 garage walls is solid and can be used as hard cover. And that's it, we've come full circle and seen most... Where's Pogo 91 running off to? You're joking, I was here 5 seconds ago. How did that guy get here? Well, this incident makes a really good point. Even if you've just finished clearing a room mere seconds ago, you should always assume that it has been immediately retaken by enemies. Quick use of the ammunition crate there, and now let me just show you the storage room. Coming down the outside stairs, we're going to breach through this door, and if you've made an effort to scout the room beforehand, you can enter usually knowing that you'll be quite safe. As you can see, the room is fairly unremarkable, but be aware that the full wall to the south can be breached at any point. So if the enemy realize you're coming in there, they can turn around and just shoot through the entire length of the wall and you will only have sight cover. That enemy there didn't know we were coming, and it only took me a full magazine to take care of him. And that was the basement. Let's head up to the first floor. Now just to highlight to you the ceiling breaches we saw in the basement below, as I mentioned, one comes down from the kitchen, that heads down to the laundry room, and one comes down from the living room and enters into the training room. Given that we are now on the ground floor, you have plenty of entry options available to you. From the outside, you have a total of 10 breachable windows and 2 breachable doors. Notice the doors highlighted by the larger circles. There are more than just 10 windows, but the rest of them are non-breachable, so completely irrelevant. To keep things as simple as possible, the map shows only viable entry options. One last interesting point to highlight here is maybe that from the south, you only have one entry option on the ground floor, and that's the door leading to the back entrance area. Apart from that, there's no way in through the south, which is the back side of the house. From inside the house, you again have multiple options to reach the first floor. You can come up the stairs from the training room into the kitchen, or you can use the side stairs, and coming down from above, you can again use the side stairs, or the front stairs coming down to the lobby. And of course, as always, if stairs and doorways are just too boring for you, you can always blow your way down through the ceiling in the dining room, or the stairs right next to the kitchen. And with that, let's take the tour. Now here we're coming down the side stairs and heading to the back entrance area, and as you saw, we just passed 2 breachable windows which can give you access both to the first and second floor, but entering this area through the stairs can be risky, since enemies could be waiting for you in literally every direction. Taking a quick look into the living room, you can see the floor breach point, in this case fortified, but we'll head through straight to the lobby. Now you can see this is a really open space. If you're coming in through the front door, you could have enemies ahead of you in the kitchen, they could be up on the landing, you could even be targeted through the semi-breachable walls left and right of you. Getting into the living room is a much better choice. Not only can you breach through 4 different windows, both in the west and the north, but at the same time you could come in through the doorways to the east and the south. As a relatively open room, this one can be a real challenge to defend. Now let's take a quick walk outside along the front porch. It's worth taking a quick look along here because I can show you the office, which has 3 windows that can be breached at the same time. We'll come back and take a look from the other side in a second. For now, let me show you the kitchen. This is actually a fairly well protected room with solid walls both to the north and south, but you do have a semi-breachable wall to the west and large open doorways to the north and east. You have to also be careful with this small piece of wall I'm hiding behind, since that can be breached. The dining room can be fairly tricky to defend since the walls both north and west are not bulletproof, and there's always a danger of someone popping out of the window behind you. Finally, let's look at the office from the inside. Like I mentioned, there's 2 windows and a French window that you can breach through, and you have the semi-breachable wall in the west, although be aware that if you do want to put a hole in it, go left. The stairs in the lobby actually block the right part of the wall. If you need ammo on this floor, it's in the dining room. And with that, we've now successfully seen all parts of the first floor. I can maybe just show you the living room from a different angle. Watch me dispatch this guy. It takes special skill to shoot 15 bullets at your enemy and not kill him. Not everyone can do this. The fact is, I'm so elite, I don't even need my gun. That's all I wanted to demonstrate here. But enough of this, let's go check out the second floor. As before, let's look at the floor breach points first. The one going into the dining room comes down from the master bedroom, and the one leading to the kitchen stairway comes down from what the game refers to as the upper hallway. But, as always, before you can go crazy with your breaching charges, you need to get into the floor first. Since we're on the second floor, you'll have to rappel up before getting in, but once you've done that, you have a total of 12 windows to choose from. One thing to note on the second floor is that there is an open window that cannot and will never be boarded up. This window is over the main entrance and it's worth knowing about. If you're an attacker, the last thing you want to do is bumble straight in front of it and make yourself a target for any defenders watching. But at the same time, if you're a defender anywhere on the upper hallway, in the lobby, or any of the rooms adjacent, you might again make yourself a target for attackers shooting through from the outside. If heights are not your thing, you could just take the stairs instead. The lobby stairs are very open, offer very little cover and are quite dangerous. It's better to take the side stairs if possible. If you're running out of ammo on the second floor, you can replenish yourself either in the workshop or in the master bedroom. And one last note before we jump into the tour. If you look at the walls on the second floor, you'll notice that apart from one semi-breachable wall on the north side of the walk-in closet, all of the walls are fully breachable. This can result in some very messy but also very interesting firefights, since you can target your enemy as long as you know which room they're in just by shooting through the wall, and they can do the same to you. You'll also note that most of the floors are wooden and can be destroyed as well. In fact, let me just show you just how messy things can get. Heading towards the front door from the side road, we're going to head left, and from here we'll climb up onto the roof of the front porch, near where the office windows and above that the bathroom windows are. Along the northern side of this roof you can see a window all the way at the end leading through to the workshop. You can be targeted from here if you're spotted. So it's important that if you're on the north side you keep an eye out to the right. If you do come under fire, there is a small corner just here where you can take cover. Getting into that cover means you're 100% protected and you can choose to engage the enemy whenever it suits you. Breaching the bathroom from two directions at once, as we're doing here, just gives the enemy more to think about, but it's clear, so we're fine. As you can see from the map, the only safe place in this room is behind the shower walls. And heading straight into the master bedroom, you can see there's some small cover here. You can hide behind the bed or behind this cupboard here. But again, all the walls are just plasterboard, so staying hidden is an important aspect to staying alive. If the enemy spots you, these walls will provide very little protection. Oh, grenade. Better get out of here. Just taking cover in the walk-in closet here, since that's one of the safest places. We'll come back to that and have a closer look later. And I don't think I was promising too much when I said we'd be making a mess of this place. The entire section of the northern wall in the master bedroom and the western wall in the bathroom are gone, including a large section of the wooden flooring. And while I'm covering the stairs here, you can see my buddy in the bathroom smashing walls to the western wall, which gives him a direct line of sight down towards the lobby and the living room. This is also a great demonstration of what it means to be walking on wooden floor. It gives you kind of a false sense of security because you think you've got something solid beneath you, but as you can see, it's just wood, and anyone can shoot through at you at any time. Conversely, of course, if you know that there are enemies above you and you know where they are, just let her rip. Now let's take a quick look at the back of the house, and now we're coming down from the roof and entering onto the back porch roof, or back porch top as it's called in the game. And I'll give a quick knock against this window to distract the enemies. You see them firing at me, and while everyone's shooting at me, my buddy jumps in and mows them down. Using distraction techniques like this can be very effective at concentrating your enemy's fire while they're being flanked from behind. The kids' room especially is a great entry point since you have 4 windows in 3 different directions and all the walls are breachable as well. And at the same time, while it can be easy to get in and overwhelm any defenders in this room, once you're in, it can provide very little cover. In this instance here, the defenders have actually done us a favor by putting up a couple of solid walls. So if you are playing on the defending team, keep in mind that if you put up any defensive barriers, they can also work against you. And if you look out along the hallway, you can see the open window I was talking about earlier. As a defender, I might feel quite safe here, but I could be targeted from the outside. And the upper hallway, of course, is one of the most dangerous places you can be anyway. Let's take a closer look at that. When you're out there, you can be targeted from all of the top floor rooms, as well as the outside, as well as from the hallway below, and most of the flooring is wooden. This is a really exposed area, and you want to make sure as a defender that you're not hanging around in the hallway, and at the same time, you want to make sure that you turn the area into a kill zone against any advancing enemies. And last but not least, let's take a quick look at the workshop. This large room can be breached through a window from the north and east, as well as the eastern and southern walls. But you do find some sporadic cover throughout the room. And this concludes our tour of the upper floor, and thereby the entire building. As with any online multiplayer game of this type, knowing the battleground is half the battle. So I do hope that this video will help you to get an overview, and thereby give you the edge over your opponents. I'll post a map to each of the floors online, and you can find a link to download them in the description. Psychological studies have provided clear evidence for the reciprocity of liking. That means that if you like somebody, they are also very likely to like you. So why not use this knowledge to your advantage? Like this video by clicking the button below, and I'm pretty sure the video will like you back. How will you be able to tell, you ask? Trust me, you'll feel it when it happens. And with that, we've now finally reached the actual end of the tour. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next episode.